Hello, welcome to B1 Reading and Writing class. This is Unit 4, Transport, and this video is for Week 6, Day 2. In this video, we'll talk about grammar for writing. Let's get started. Grammar for writing. First conditional. In this lesson, we'll learn how to write first conditional. We often use the first conditional to persuade or negotiate. Persuade means to convince someone, and negotiate means to obtain something by having a discussion. Notice how we use if and will to link two sentences. Look at the idea or action. The government increases tax on fuel. Consequence: people use their cars. Now these two sentences are actually two clauses. The action clause or the idea clause is the government increases tax on fuel, and the consequence clause is people use their cars less. Now in the following sentences, these two clauses have been combined together and turned into first conditional. Look at these two sentences. If the government increases tax on fuel, people will use their cars less. This is first conditional. You can also say the same thing in a different way. People will use their cars less if the government increases tax on fuel. The idea or action clause: we build another bridge. The consequence clause: more traffic can go to the schools and offices. Now see how these two clauses are combined together and turned into a first conditional. If we build another bridge, more traffic will be able to get to the schools and offices. Exercise 1. Read the grammar explanation on page 79 again and answer the questions below. Number 1. Which clause begins with if? A. The idea clause. B. The consequence clause. What's your answer? The correct answer is the idea clause. Number 2. Which clause contains will? A. The idea clause or the consequence clause? And the answer is the consequence clause. Number 3. What happens to can when it follows will in a sentence? Can changes to be able to when it follows another modal verb. Number 2. Link the pairs of sentences below using if and will. Remember to change can in question 5. And you already know that can is changed into be able to. Now pause the video and link all the 5 pairs of sentences. When you are done, come back and check your answers. Okay, now let's see how these pairs of sentences are linked. Number 1. We moved the offices and schools next to the houses. We have fewer traffic problems. When you link these two sentences, it becomes a conditional sentence like this. If we move the offices and schools next to the houses, we will have fewer traffic problems. Number 2. We have a ferry over the river. Fewer people use the bridge. The conditional sentence is: if we have a ferry over the river, fewer people will use the bridge. Number 3. Fewer cars use the roads. We increase the price of fuel. And the conditional sentence is: if we increase the price of fuel, fewer cars will use the roads. Number 4. We change the office hours. The cars do not all use the road at the same time. And the conditional sentence is: if we change the office hours, the cars will not all use the roads at the same time. And number 5, we build a railway line, people can use the train instead of their cars. And the conditional sentence is, if we build a railway line, people will be able to use the train instead of their cars. Using if with not and unless. We can also use if and not together or unless to describe the consequence of not doing a certain action. Look at the idea or action clause. The government increases tax on fuel. And now read the consequence clause. People use their cars less. Now if you use if and not, it becomes like this. If the government doesn't increase tax on fuel, people won't use their cars less. Or if you use unless, the sentence will be like this. Unless the government increases tax on fuel, people won't use their cars less. Exercise 3. Link the sentences below using if with not or unless. You can link these sentences in 2 different ways. Pause the video and complete this exercise. When you are done, come back and check your answers. Okay, let's see the answers. Number 1. The traffic will improve. We build more roads. You can link these 2 sentences like this. The traffic won't improve unless we build more roads, or if we don't build more roads, the traffic won't improve. Number 2. Pollution will be reduced. We use cleaner transport. And the sentences are, pollution won't be reduced if we do not use cleaner transport. Or, unless we use cleaner transport, pollution won't be reduced. Number 3. We provide a solution. People will get to work on time. When you change the sentences, they are like this. People won't get to work on time unless we provide a solution. Or, if we don't provide a solution, people won't get to work on time. Number 4. We will solve the traffic problem. We build houses closer to the business areas. And the sentences are, we won't solve the traffic problems if we don't build houses closer to the business areas. Or, unless we build houses closer to the business areas, we won't solve the traffic problem. Number 5. The city invests in a PRT. There will be less congestion. And the answer is, unless the city invests in a PRT, there won't be less congestion. Or, if the city doesn't invest in a PRT, there won't be less congestion. That's all for now. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.